It's a big news day in the world of Magic the Gathering. eBay has just bought TCGplayer. Apparently Brothers War is going to have its own Mystic archives, and we have a Warhammer 40k spoiler too.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends! I hope the day finds you well, because we have gathered for another installment of Mega Magic News. So join me as I sweat through this continuing heat wave that never ends, and we dive into the news, starting out with the eBay TCGplayer situation, because this is a big one. You may recall that recently TCGplayer ate Channel Fireball. Well, now eBay has eaten TCGplayer. So we have this like fish, bigger fish scenario. And it's interesting to note that eBay is moving hard into the card market, right? We saw that basically in the past what they were doing was going, hey, we're going to do this authentication service for cards that are over $250. We'll have this middleman kind of aspect. But now you can see that they've decided the collectible card market is 100% worth diving into, like fully. The acquisition of TCGplayer cost like hundreds of millions of dollars. And I guess since we're talking about this, I have a TCGplayer link. So if you're buying cards online, use my link. It helps me out. So this is obviously going to create huge waves in terms of individual card sellers and stuff like that. I don't know what it means in the long term overall, but in the short term, they're saying there's not going to be any changes to how TCGplayer operates. And I do believe that will be the case to begin with, but I strongly doubt that eBay purchased TCGplayer to simply leave it alone, unless the idea is to just own every particular arm that could be reaching out into the card world. So they keep eBay the way it is. They keep TCGplayer as an option that's alternate to eBay, but also is owned by eBay for the people who are like, I don't like eBay's fees. I'm going to go and be an independent seller with my own little shop. So I'm not 100% sure what the underlying game plan by eBay is, but I fully expect that this means that at some point we're going to see some changes to TCGplayer. I don't know if they'll be good or bad, but I'm going to keep my eye out for that because obviously it's a big news item. In fact, we talked about it in a live stream over on my other channel last night. I'll leave a link up on the screen if you want to check that out at the end of the video, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about is March of the Machines. This is going to be standard legal, but at the same time, not a standard set. And to me, that's a very odd situation, right? If you're not familiar with what's going on, Wizards of the Coast told us what's coming out in 2023. So, after Dominaria United and the Brothers War, we are launching hardcore into more Phyrexian action. The first set of 2023 is going to be Phyrexia All Will Be One. The second set is going to be March of the Machines. And then we're going to get March of the Machines Epilogue. But it comes out 1 month after March of the Machines, and it's specifically been stated that it won't actually be a standard set, but the stuff in it will be standard legal. So this is interesting for a number of reasons. First of all, we haven't really gotten this treatment in Magic in a while in terms of sticking to a story and going with it for a long time. We've been kind of bopping into Capenna, let's stop by Eldraine, these sort of things. And yes, there were little hints of the Phyrexian story here or there, but overall it was kind of tossed to the side and just like, this is the build-up. Now we're diving into the story proper. So we're getting Dominaria United, Brothers War, the Phyrexia All We Want, and March of the Machines as essentially almost this big 4-set block, and then we're going to get the epilogue, which is a wrap-up, which will ideally tell us like what happened to the heroes, maybe give us new versions of them, and other things like that. But it's strange as well, because normally when Wizards make standard products, they are just standard sets, right? We don't get these sort of side products, with the exception of things like the Planeswalker decks, where they said, okay, these cards are standard legal, but at the same time, the Planeswalker decks were weak. They never really made much of an impact and were discontinued as a product. Now it looks like Wizards is going, hey, we're going to design extra products to cram into standard, which feels strange. If you didn't know, for the longest time, standard was the entry portal to Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast thought that everybody would start playing Magic with standard because It's the simplest way to start playing Magic in terms of card pool. It has the smallest card pool, right? You're not looking at 20,000 different cards, so jump on in. All the stuff in it is currently in print, so you can get it. It's got accessibility, right? So they viewed it that way, and they said, okay, Standard will feed into Modern and other formats, but over time they went, okay, wait a minute. People are actually playing way more Commander and kitchen tabletop Magic. The idea became, hold on. People aren't actually learning Magic from Standard. The truth is, people learn Magic from other people who know Magic. So what other people are playing is what these new people are going to be brought into. So as a result, you get a ton of people coming into Commander and the tabletop. And as a result of that, Wizards goes, maybe Standard isn't a key anymore, right? Maybe we just go, let's make stuff directly for Modern. Let's start making products directly for Commander. And now they're turning around and going, well, we're going to do this with Standard too. So this is the end of an era in one way and the beginning of a new one. Now, let's talk about a silly little mistake that they made with Dominaria United in the form of Llanowar Green Widow. Up on the screen, you're going to see it. This is the extended bordered version, all right? Now understand that specifically this card has just the word tapped on it twice in the middle of the card for essentially almost no reason. Now, it's not 100% clear whether this is going to be the actual finished version because sometimes Wizards will show us error versions, but it's just the digital mock-up. At the same time, this set is already printed and out the door, right? It's going to be in our hands in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, I'm guessing that this is probably actually on the card, right? After that, we've got an image of the Brothers War Jumpstart box. Take a look at this. Does this say Brothers War to you at all? It doesn't say it to me. We got an elf lady and a dog, but take a look at the dog. Take a look at his face. Take a look at the gear that slapped him. This is a lot of fun just when I look at the artwork. I really want to know what this dog is all about. Is he some kind of alchemist's apprentice? Who knows? All right, next item on the list, my friends. Brothers War Mystic Archives. So, this isn't 100% confirmed, but it's already been rumored that the Brothers War was going to have mystical archive cards the same way that Strixhaven did. You remember those special, awesome stylized cards that they did? Well, on the packaging for Dominaria United, there is language that really makes it seem like we're going to be getting the same thing. Every pack is guaranteed a card of uncommon or higher rarity. And the only time we've actually seen that ever in Magic's history has been with the previous Mystic Archive. There were literally no common Mystic Archive cards. So that is one big point in favor for this idea of a Mystic Archive. Another great point is when you actually review the information printed on the back of a set booster, normally they will say you can get 1 to 4 rares. But the set boosters for Dominaria United say you can get 1 to 5 rares, which also leans in to this Mystic Archive concept. And people are also banding about the idea that the Mystic Archive will specifically be artifacts. So the idea that's supposed to go along with this is we will have a range of, what was the Mystic Archive last time? Like 100-something cards? Maybe it was 60? I can't remember exactly how many there were. But we'll get the same kind of concept with special stylized artifacts, and maybe they'll have like flavor text that ties into what's going on with the Brothers War and Dominaria. Like, I am super stoked about this. And I've also heard, though this is in the realm of pure rumor, you know the Lost Legends that we got with Dominaria United? I've heard they're going to be doing the same thing with Antiquities cards in Brothers War. Now, is that true? Who knows? That's like mega excitement rumor, but it is very, very cool. What is next on our list? What is next? Oh, the Eldraine Disney lair. So, apparently we're going to be getting a Disney secret lair, and it's going to probably coincide with the Eldraine release. So later on this year, we're getting a return to Eldraine, which is awesome because the set really didn't get enough the first time around. It had a decent story, a fun world, so I'm cool with that return, right? Speaking of secret layers, actually I want to let you know that there's also going to be some Transformer action coming based on the original Transformers. The cartoon that I used to watch as a little kid with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and all that goodness. And I watched Transformers right up until they made the movie and they started blowing all the Transformers up. And I'm like, but what? What? Yeah, because if you guys didn't know this, back in the day, Hasbro, being the maniacs that they are, went, yo, we want to sell more Transformers to kids. So we got to make new Transformers, but we got to get rid of the Transformers the kids already know. So some executives were like, I got an idea. Why don't we just blow all the Transformers up and make new ones? Not thinking, you're going to traumatize small children. That was the end of Transformers for me, guys. I never watched it again after that. It was too much. I'm like, Optimus Prime, what is going on? Like, that was so wild. So they are bringing that in. We are going to be getting that old school Transformers action in Magic, which is pretty cool. That one, the Disney one, is like a rumor that I feel half decent about. This Transformer stuff, I'm telling you, it's coming. This is not remember how I told you they were going to announce Ixalan? And I was right. Remember I told you Kamigawa Neon Dynasty was coming like a year and a half in advance and how it was going to be this crazy techno set? Same kind of deal here. I'm telling you, the Transformers are coming, friends. They are coming. So, what do we have next? Oh, the Warhammer 40k spoiler. Let's take a look at that. So, this is the face card for the Tyranid deck. And if you're not familiar with the Tyranids, they are like a horrific insectile aberration that have gigantic bioships that sail through the infinity of space. And when they find planets, they disgorge all of these crazy Tyranid insect beasts down to the planet. And they run along and rampage and tear everything up. And basically, they just turn everything into biomass and food. And then these gigantic alien beast spaceship things just suck all the food up off the planet. Everything, it's almost got a somewhat Phyrexian vibe. If all the Phyrexians wanted to do was convert you to food instead of actually like making you a Phyrexian, right? So, what do we have here? We have the Broodlord. The first time I played Warhammer, actually, I used the Tyranids because I found their like regeneration and concepts to be really cool. They stand out so much versus literally every other race in the game, right? Because they're so alien in nature. Even the Necrons, who literally have full-on metallic bodies, they're understandable because they were trying to save their people from ravages and horrors and ultimately just ended up creating their own horror, right? And they sleep under planets waiting for people to show up and come, get off our planet, this is ours. But even those Necrons are nothing compared to the complete alien Xenos. Like, I love it. The Tyranids are so messed up. So, this Broodlord does a great job of giving you the Tyranid vibe, right? First of all, he's a big, fat, 5/5 hulking beast. It's red, green, and blue, and 3 mana, so this is a steep casting cost, right? But I do love that they're using flavor words to get across the concepts of Warhammer as well. The first ability that it has is rapid regeneration. So how this works is every time you've cast a commander from your command zone before, you count that number of times, and then you get that many +1/+1 counters times 2. What an unwieldy way to say it. People who are used to commander will get it. For every time you've cast your commander from the command zone, you get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on it when it comes into play, right? So it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I do like how that kind of does feel like insane rapid regeneration where like we keep cutting this thing down. Not only does it keep coming back, it keeps coming back bigger. And the regeneration ability of the Tyranids is one of the biggest draws that made me choose to play them at the beginning of the game because it feels really gross. Their regeneration allows them to survive insane wounds, right? And it's not like Magic where you have to have mana open and ready for it. Regeneration is inherently built into them, so they're full on good to go, right? And then you also have another great ability that feels very Tyranid, and that's Xenos Cunning. So this is whenever a creature you control dies, you get to draw a card. And I like this because it feeds into the whole Tyranid, like whatever, just throw all your dudes into the meat grinder, right? The Tyranids operate under the same kind of vibe as like ants or other insects like that. They're not really individuals with their own proper spirit and everything as far as I understand. So sending them into the meat grinder for your own game, basically just send endless waves of Tyranid. You start taking people who exist on the plane, eating them, subsuming them, evolving new Tyranids that are specifically evolved to destroy the people who live there. Like, it is an absolutely wild concept, and the idea that you gain your resources. Drawing a card is gaining resources. Their Tyranids are going to gain resources by wiping out their enemies and converting them into biomass. So the whole concept here is a lot of fun from a flavor perspective. And I gotta say, I'm genuinely curious to see how they're going to execute the other 40k commanders and things like that, because I have just enough experience with Warhammer to be able to enjoy the different layers of flavor. So, my friends, that wraps up this installment of Mega Magic News. It has been a fat doozy. So let me know what your favorite part of the news was in the comments below. And again, I invite you to come and hang out on my other channel, Hatcher. We do live streams over there very frequently. We'll be doing another one tonight, and you're welcome to hang out. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Big shout out to my patrons, and I will see you all in the next video.